Hi, everyone. I'm Jess, and I'm the content manager here at Course Report, which is a resource for people who are looking for the right coding bootcamp for them. You can use the Course Report website to research the best coding bootcamps all over the world, as well as insights on which coding languages to learn, where to apply, and how to pay for your own bootcamp experience, plus so much more. Today, I'm speaking with Andrew McGrath. Andrew has been working in recruiting and is currently enrolled in Springboard's tech sales career track. So Andrew, I'd love to hear a bit about how your online tech sales bootcamp experience has been so far. Let's start with what inspired you to enroll at Springboard at this time?
Absolutely. And I think that the biggest thing that stood out to me as a recruiter is getting to know different businesses and what businesses need. And I was looking at transitioning into something that was a little bit more my wheelhouse. My previous experience was I had spent 10 years as a sales manager with Best Buy. And so I love the tech space. I love, helping clients understand that piece of it, helping people understand what's possible. And recruiting is still a sales job at the end of the day. But I wanted to get back to sort of the tech side of it. And I looked at, different industries that are blowing up, industries that are growing, and tech sales is massive. And it has such a lot of, so many different opportunities that you can go with it. And a friend of mine actually recommended a couple of different online courses to be able to sort of brush up on the different sales techniques that transfer over from my previous experience. And Springboard, of course, being one of them. And as I was looking through them, the reason I chose Springboard was that they had some of the best feedback uh, from class members who were saying that, they had really hands-on approach and helped people understand no matter, whether you've had experience in sales previously or whether you were just getting into the sales business, doesn't really matter. So they were able to work from a lot of different perspectives.
And was Springboard's job guarantee an important piece when you were trying to decide which bootcamp to go with?
It doesn't hurt. Let me say that. No, the job guarantee I thought was really cool. It shows a lot of confidence that they have in their content, and it shows that basically that you can trust them to be able to give you the right information, and otherwise it wouldn't be obviously worth their while to have a job guarantee. So that does stick out among the other options that I was looking into at that time, that the job guarantee is definitely something that they're standing behind their coursework.
What was it like to get into Springboard's tech sales bootcamp? Do you need to have any previous knowledge in order to start?
No, not really. I mean, as long as you've got the right mindset of getting to work, going to class, and understanding, and I guess keeping an open mind of the coursework and asking questions. I don't think that there was any prerequisites from a sales or an actual quote unquote sales standpoint.
And did they have you do some kind of pre-work before the first official day of the bootcamp?
There was a questionnaire that they went through that went to a student advisor. There was a little bit of a Q&A that they went into that before we're getting started.
Just covering kind of basic terms and things like that?
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
just a base understanding of it.
Yeah. And I know Springboard is so big on mentorship. That's their cornerstone piece in their boot camp. I'd love to hear about your mentor. Who are they, or how are they operating in the industry, and how are they helping you out?
Yes, I mean, I've been leading a lot on my student advisor, Dave. Fantastic. I know I can go to him with any questions. I feel sometimes like I'm contacting him too much, but he's always like, "Hey, Andrew, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to answer this, that, and the other." And that's been a big piece of it, or a big, I guess, weight off of my shoulders as I'm trying to navigate, obviously, this new area. But all the different student advisors with whom I've interacted have been fantastic. Arnie is another great one. Always there to answer questions. They've got footholds in the industry. They understand the different people that you need to connect with, especially from a network standpoint. They've got great insight on different questions, and maybe it's always constructive in the sense that it's not like, "Oh, you're doing this wrong." Instead, what they say is going to be more along the lines of, "Hey, that's a great idea, but let's transition that into this, or let's move that into this." So they've always had great feedback, and I feel like I've been really lucky with that.
Springboard's also unique because it's got the mentorship component, but then it's also kind of a self-paced online boot camp. So how are you making that schedule work for you? What does a typical week look like in it?
Most afternoons, I'll spend between 2 to 3 hours. just going through, reading through the curriculum, understanding the projects, working on the projects. It honestly, with it being self-paced is a huge win, I think, especially understanding that people have a lot of things going on right now. Being able to pace it myself around what I've got going on in my life is amazing. And I can't, that's one of the biggest factors, I think, in Springboard being a great place is that you work at your own pace, but you still have obviously specific deadlines and things like that. So it's still structured, but it's structured by you and led by you.
And so far, what have you learned in the boot camp? Like just major like tools or skills? I know it's probably so much.
I was going to say that's a long question. Yes. No, I have learned so much about networking and being able to meet the right people. I've gone through so much as far as how to engage clients in a different way, in a more meaningful and impactful way. Antoine, our teacher that we had, showed us a multitude of different ways to be able to engage people and really find an impact and sell in a better way than what necessarily is what you may or may not be used to. We went over things like learning through LinkedIn and learning your resume and learning different styles and learning some of the programs, things like Salesforce and other CRM programs that a lot of the industry leaders use. So that way, as you step into a new role, you've got that foothold, you've got that understanding already walking into the door of, cool, I know how to work this. I understand that program. So that was a big help as well for me.
Since this is an online boot camp, also kind of self-paced, do you feel connected with the community at Springboard? Are there ways to like reach out to others in the program?
There are. On top of which, obviously, during our class, they encouraged everyone to network through LinkedIn. We also use Slack as well as to be able to contact not only our student advisors, but to share best practices and things like that. And it's great that I actually just the other day, I was able to answer a question that someone else, a newer student had posed. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm able to answer that question now. I can help out. And it's really vital. It's really crucial to have that kind of camaraderie amongst the different students to be able to connect like that. I thought was awesome.
With this boot camp, like what are your career goals? Are you trying to land an SDR role or are you going like in a different direction with this?
I am currently working to find an SDR position. I've been looking at different size companies. I'm not entirely certain about whether I want to go small company or larger company, but I've had lots of conversations with folks that I've networked with via Springboard, just through our different projects that we've had to be able to find and seek out people. So fingers crossed that goes, knock on wood, according to plan. But yeah, definitely an SDR role is where my head's at right now.
And how is Springboard preparing you for this job hunt? Do they start sort of from day one or are you like waiting to get further through the program?
Honestly, both. So you have the opportunity to be able to start early on in the program of not only just starting with some basics like resume work and interview work, but they have different mock interviews that you go through towards the end of the course, as well as having specific career coaches that you work with. I've been working with Jan and working on things like how to apply, what to look out for, what companies, what this means when a company posts that. It's very hands-on, very encouraging to be able to have that person in your corner of, cool, I know what these companies are looking for. I know what they're asking when they say XYZ.
Do you feel like the projects and the curriculum that you learned at Springboard will help you land this first like SDR type role?
Absolutely. Being able to work in this aspect with Springboard has definitely better prepared me to be able to understand and ask questions and hopefully land that role.
What is your advice as a student in the tech sales boot camp so far for any incoming students, like on how to just sort of get going, like right from day one of the boot camp?
Yes, my biggest advice would be don't be afraid to ask questions. There's so many different aspects and so many different, not everything like at the beginning, we talked about terminology and things like that. I mean, whether it's something an acronym that you don't know or a process you may not understand, reach out and ask questions, ask your advisors, ask the fellow students. I can honestly say that everyone that I've worked with has been so helpful and not, condescending or anything like that. So definitely don't be afraid to ask questions and keep an open mind.
And so far in your bootcamp experience, what do you feel like was the most challenging piece of the curriculum? Is there something that just really got you stuck for a while, or do you feel like you've been cruising through?
Oh, a little bit of both. I would say some of the most challenging pieces are some of the networking aspects of it. So, for example, they have you join a network of folks on whether it be via LinkedIn or Lunch Club or different programs to be able to connect with people in the industry and see some of their feedback and ask them some questions as well. And that's not a natural thing for everyone to necessarily be able to do. So that was kind of the interesting part, is reaching out to someone that I've completely never, interacted with, seen. I don't know them. And just to be able to say, hey, my name's Andrew. I'm looking to get into the industry. Here's my background. What can you tell me about, your journey? And that's not an easy thing for everyone to be able to do, but it's definitely, after months and months of doing that, is hugely, hugely helpful to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a confidence boost, because that kind of like cold calling can just really be terrifying for someone
Yes,
without that skills.
it's not for everyone. Yes.
Yeah. So far, has Springboard been worth it for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, I'm still working to land a job, but I can honestly say I feel 10 times more confident than I did prior to this, as looking into get into the tech sales industry. The knowledge that I have gained, I feel significantly more confident that I'll be able to get up a great position.
And that's an excellent place to wrap up this student spotlight. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Andrew, and best of luck in your tech sales career. We're going to be posting a recording and a transcript of this video interview on the Course Report blog with contact information for Springboard, just in case you're interested in applying for one of their upcoming tech sales cohorts. And thanks so much to all of you for watching. You can tweet at us, email us, and let us know which topic you'd like us to cover next on the Course Report blog. And in the meantime, you can follow Course Report on Facebook and Twitter. And if you're a Bootcamp alumni, don't forget to post a review of your very own Bootcamp experience on Course Report. Your review is a huge help to anyone thinking of getting into tech today.